Hello, guys, and welcome to the first episode of Mom, Can You Not? So, I came up with a name this morning. Me and Mom were like, we're going to do a podcast because you guys have been asking. We want to see more of Mom. We want to hear more about her. So, I thought, let's do a podcast because it'll be longer form content. You get to know her on a deeper level, and she can share some embarrassing stories from when I was growing up. And I just thought it would be just a nice thing. But I couldn't think of a name. But then I just thought, Mom, can you not?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's me. Like, all the time.
All the time. Mom, can you not?
Yeah.
But I always do, don't I?
Yes, you do. So what's the topic of discussion today, Mom?
I think starting from the start will be a very interesting way of starting things, how we got here, why we are here.
Yeah.
Because the plan was always to come here for 6 months, work, go back, build a mansion, and live happily ever after. So we're Zimbabweans. That was basically every Zimbabwean's dream. But roll on 22 years later, we are still here.
So are you telling me that when we left Zimbabwe, you genuinely thought we'd be back in 6 months?
Yeah, I genuinely thought that. But, well, I suppose it's something I was saying. I didn't want to come back to Zimbabwe.
Okay.
There wasn't anything for me, to be honest. But you can't say that to a person who's buying you a ticket that I've got no intention of coming back. So it's something that you say, on paper.
Yeah.
But I think your dad always wanted to go back, but I didn't. I knew that there was nothing for me there. The opportunities were here.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, I'd done as much self-development as I could.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd always wanted to work in healthcare. I'd always wanted to do something to help people. So I had you at 17, didn't I? Because, boys were always bothering me. So I got tired of saying no. so I found myself a mom at 17 with no GCSEs, no lifetime prospects, but just, fun and giggles.
Yeah.
So I was lucky enough that, then being in Zimbabwe, I don't know what it is like for people growing up here. I'd like to know what it is like, because back home, if you got somebody pregnant, you married them. End of. There was no ifs, no
Hey,
buts.
if you get somebody pregnant, you disappear. That's what happens around here.
And you start looking for them on. You like to start looking for them on TikTok and
yeah.
John,
Exactly. You start writing indirect about your baby daddy on social media.
and you wait for Father's Day. I saw this interesting. And you stand next to a bin and say Happy Father's Day tonight.
Yeah, gosh.
So I got pregnant at 16, gave birth at 17. I was lucky because the family I married into, they were all into education. Your grandma is a teacher. She's a retired teacher now. She's been teaching for over 40 years. Your granddad was a deputy head. So joining the family with no GCSEs, no education was not for them. So the plan was I was going to give birth to you and go back to school. That's exactly what I did. So I went back to school, initially night school, and then I passed because I was quite bright, I'm not daft. So
You're very bright,
you get the brains part from me. Everything else I don't know where you get it from. But the intelligence.
The opposition.
Yeah, maybe the opposition. The kakuvengedzera kakungopinda muvanhu. I don't know where you get that from. It's not me. Me is the.
Well, would you define me as Munaka Vengezera?
The way you get in with people and this kuvengedzera in our culture. It's not something that you do. So anyway, you are here, isn't it?
Yeah.
We are doing this because So anyway, yeah. So I went back into education, got my GCSEs. So then, in Zimbabwe, for you to get into any training program you can think about, from being a security officer, Mawuda, Mawobo, to, I don't know, medicine, you have to know someone. So I knew someone at that point. Your dad actually was very close friends with a family who knew people. So the plan was that I write my GCSEs and then I'll go and do my nursing. But unfortunately, by the time I'd finished and passed, the people who knew people, some of them had started leaving Zimbabwe for greener pastures. So there wasn't any connection for me to get into nursing, because that was always the plan for me. I wanted to do something to help people. So here I was with my GCSEs. Didn't want to be a teacher. I can just about stand my own children. So can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Do with other
47
children.
Nah, there was no way. So I didn't want to be a teacher. My love for people stopped at other people's children. I only like mine. So being paid to educate, Motherhood. Can you imagine if you get a grade 1 class? They've got no idea. They've just come from mommy.
No, it's a lot. I felt it during COVID when you had to do homeschool your kids.
Oh
my gosh.
I could have paid anyone, a teacher actually, to come and just have them.
I once attended one of Mum's lessons, maths lessons. That lesson alone, I attribute it to how I managed to pass maths.
See, this is the thing. I do not think, the way you want to portray me on Beyonce's internet, that is not me. I am very about education, and you are not getting it. So what do you want me to do?
You are very about education.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very stressful. Mum was getting frustrated with me. I was getting frustrated with her. We were not seeing eye to eye. I said to her, you know what, Mum? I'm going to go and study by myself. I'm not enough because I passed.
No, but you're thinking that, the only reason you passed was just the thought of me teaching you.
Exactly. That is, I'm not going to lie to you, that is.
So if your motivation is from the feeling, and also the other thing with you,
your lessons were good. They were just very strict.
Yeah, but that's the way people learn, isn't it? Learning, this is why some of you leave school without any GCSEs.
Well, I got my GCSE, man.
No, but you go to school and you think teachers are your friends. There should always be that, that level of respect and decorum in the classroom. You waltz in with your pants almost your knees, and you walk in and your
What
teacher...
did we used to do? We used to roll up our skirts until they had that big massive bulge around.
But did you realize? Did you wear skirts to school? Is the question.
No.
Why?
My skirts got disqualified. I think I ended up being allowed to wear skirts in the last few months of year 11.
Yeah, and every time you tried to roll it up, what would happen? You'd see me just drive
and
by.
And it looked bad as well. It didn't even look nice.
I don't understand what that was about.
I don't understand what that was about.
You see, now you're older, you're seeing it.
Now my mom, when I'm talking to the kids, I hear you. When I'm talking to
because there are some of the things that you used to do that were so ridiculous. I mean, those eyebrows. Because what Coco used to do. Coco could, it was the renaissance of black makeup.
Beauty by JJ. That's who I blame for this.
So anyway, there were so many black makeup YouTubers coming through with all these makeup tips, and I think Coco, the only thing that she remembered from those makeup tips was eyebrows. So she would walk downstairs.
No, Mom, do you know what it is? It's because at that time, you weren't going to go to town with me and go buy a bunch of MAC makeup. No.
There was no way.
So the only thing I could afford was an eyebrow pencil. So that's what I used,
Because, you'd come with these 3D eyebrows every morning,
they
nothing else. Yeah, they just were they were just placed on your forehead. And I'm thinking, what are those?
I thought I was eating it up.
And and the thing is, those eyebrows took you 4 hours to do every
4 hours to do those ugly ass eyebrows. I look so bad. If I have a picture, I'll actually share it. I think I'll have a picture somewhere in my archives of how crazy I looked with my caterpillar eyebrows.
I'm glad you're seeing it. Then when I was telling you, Tanaka, you can't be walking around.
I thought I was giving.
What were you giving? Disappointment. I'm a loser. I sell caterpillars, kind of. I don't know what you were doing anyway. Yeah. So, that's why I think that's what I attribute it to. Is that the whole attitude towards education was not right. You should have treated education like a job.
No, it was not right, to be honest, because now I'm so about education, and I think to myself so many times that if I had applied myself a little bit more when I was younger, I'd be so much further in life. Because it's not that I lack in intelligence. At that time, I lacked in application was not there.
You almost
wasn't there.
I almost got a case because
I didn't want to go to school. Anyways, that's another story for another day. Let's go back to Zimbabwe.
But we're going back to Zimbabwe, but there's something I need to share with your friends. So, one day I called Korrine. I was on my way to get my own education.
Yeah.
My own education. Didn't miss a day of school. I was always on.
And look at you, man. Where are you, babes? You've got your degree.
Degrees.
Your degrees.
So anyway.
For some respect.
Yeah, or my name. So I'm calling you. I get to uni, and I'm just thinking, let me call this dead ass child and see if she's actually woken up and bothered to go to school. So I'm calling. This is like 9:30, and she answers. She goes, "Hello." I said, "Where are you?" And she goes, "In the shower."
In the shower.
I said, "You're in the shower with your mobile phone." And the phone just...
I remember that day like it was yesterday. I was in bed. I think it must have been like 9 o'clock.
9:30.
I don't think I even went to school that day, to be honest. I was so bad, but...
You were so bad. You were.
Mom, you told me I wasn't bad.
Kunani.
So why is it now we're getting in front of the visitors? Now you want to tell everyone I was bad?
No, because I have to be objective. There were some things that you didn't do. You were never a follower. I have to say that. If you're some kids will truant or skip school to go and spend time with their children. You would skip
with
school.
Their boys.
You'd not go and meet up with anyone. You'd just be in the house. Yeah. So in that respect, you were not going out. What do you call it? Committing crimes and stuff like that. So in a way. If I was to pick up a truanting daughter or a skipping school daughter, if there was a bunch of them and I was to choose, I'll choose you. Because at least you're not going and hanging around McDonald's and doing all this weird and wonderful stuff.
To do any of those crazy things.
So at least you're spending time at home, which is good. I like that. So so that was Zimbabwe. So we decided that there was... Actually, it wasn't a decision, to be honest. The plan was we were always going to find something else, not outside of Zimbabwe, because there was no opportunities. But where was always the question. Where were we going to? I remember I used to look at prospectus and see all these glossy, shiny American magazines and stuff like that. And I just think, I can see myself living in places like this. I think that's where my temperament and my my whole self is situated. And I always thought that the UK, I didn't think I would ever come to the UK, but it happened. I'm here.
Yeah, what happened, Mom? Go deeper, Mama. Go deeper.
So I think in the latent stages, when we actually knew that there was nothing, I knew there was nothing for me in Zim. Your dad was always busy causing havoc wherever he was. His kind of behavior wasn't Zimbabwe ready, because Zimbabwe is for people who follow, who toe the line, who do as they are told, who are obedient. Your dad would just start problems wherever he was never for peace. He was always for problems. So one time I can remember very specifically, almost he's a bright man, your dad, published author, currently working on his PhD. He has to pay me for that.
That flag.
So he's a brilliant man, but just doesn't know how to behave in third world countries. So he started irritating a lot of people by the things he was doing. Initially, it was actually his teacher training. So he went teacher training, right? So your dad was never a follower anyway. He was, that's where, the rebelliousness in you, that I'm not going to, I will do things my way comes from your dad, because your dad doesn't know how to conform. He's never known how to. You argue for the sake of arguing sometimes, I think. And sometimes it makes sense. Sorry, Ambrose. So, he he started this weird, when he was in uni, he just decided to fall out with people, start asking questions about how the marking scheme was being handled, that it was, there was a lot of sexism at school. Weird little politics that...
He was an activist.
There was nothing to active. There was no activity to activize. No one listens to anyone in Zimbabwe anyway. So this, it's just a way of you telling them that you don't want to graduate, and they will make sure that you don't graduate.
Yeah.
So he couldn't finish his teacher training program, and they actually gave him something to be upset about and to
some activity
to activate and be an activist about. So anyway, he started writing. You would write the president's office, no word of a lie, every day.
About what?
About how he had been kicked out of this program in a very unfair manner.
Yeah.
So he'd write the president's office like every day. And I'm a cheerleader for any of my people. He will tell you that, that.
Yeah.
I was the one doing the posting.
Mom is the ultimate cheerleader.
So I would be posting these letters for him, right? I would take the letters to post them. So like for the whole 2 months of writing every day, and he's an incessant writer as well. He obsesses over things. So he would write a letter every day to the president's office, and I would post a letter every day to the president's office, and no one was responding. So at the time, I don't know if it's a coincidence, and mothers on this podcast and people from my era will understand this. So I'm going to the post office, right? I meet this guy, right? He was a Mapostori. He was actually in his white gemens. So he says to me, madzimai mimi ndinetsana ngoro dzenyu. And I was like, yeah, I follow him. God knows where I was going with this man in the bushes, but I just did follow him. When it comes to a point, and he goes, I'll first pray for this letter that you're holding. You'll get good news from this letter. And second thing is, I've seen a very big aeroplane.
You were like, go deeper, Papa.
I didn't even say go deeper, Papa. Part of me was a bit like, whatever. When you've not been eating well for a few days and people are telling you about this grand scheme,
the
amazing things. Apo namu iri kunamo, wakapfeka skate nevhenti yakasvika kumusana, and somebody is telling you kuti and the shena nandinayo as well. No, I didn't say that. Now go to him and I receive, and he prayed for the letter, right? So I take the letter to where I was supposed to post it. Guess what? In 3 business days, your dad gets a response from the president's office. And this man was like, we've spoken to the university. You can go back to school. Just like that. So he went back. So now, this is where your grandma and my Jenny's faith journey started. So we would not do anything without praying for it. We would not do anything without. But in my head, I just wanted to meet this Mapostori one more time and just say, so this plane you were talking about, how can we activate this plane? Because clearly, one of the things that you said has happened. So anyway, a year passes. So, in our prayer journeys, somebody said to your grandma, there's this man, he prays for people. And I'm sure, so we go, right, to this place, right? And we're there, this man prays. But as we are leaving, coming home, we are now in the combi. I saw my original Mapostori.
Yeah.
And I said to the combi man, stop the car.
Yeah.
I need to come out. And I was like, what? I said, I've seen the man I've been looking for a year.
Yeah.
So I ran after him. And he was like, madzimai, muri right.
Did he remember you?
I didn't even, I had started saying, that letter, the good news came. My husband has finished his, at this point, your dad had completed his program. Now he was actually looking for work. And so I'm saying, I wanted to say, so the other part of the prophecy, with the plane, tapa, pinindeg, and what. I didn't even get to say that. He says, I didn't even tell him that. He just saw me and he remembered. He says, ndege apa duze.
Yeah.
But mukasvika ku-UK musazombofamba kataura nemunhu anonzi Joseph.
Joseph?
Yeah.
Do you know a Joseph?
I don't know a Joseph.
Yeah, I know one Joseph.
So he just said never. So that part hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
That is crazy. You never told me that.
He told me that. Yeah. He was like, kana masvika ku-UK musazotaura nemunhu anonzi Joseph.
Joseph?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was what he said to me. And I was like, as a matter of fact, there wasn't you're going to go, you are whatever.
Yeah.
Right. So so at this point, you were, I think you just turned, you're very young, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So your dad starts teaching, right? So he finds, that's your dad in his activism. Bear in mind, we've just literally scraped by the cow's horns for him to get through this program.
Yeah.
After upsetting all these lecturers and finding himself kicked out of uni, he's back in uni, he's qualified.
Yeah.
He gets a job. Now, he's complaining about a borehole.
Yeah.
It makes it all the way to front, all the way from where he was in the rural areas.
Yeah.
I'm sat there. Somebody says, our neighbor, who was Minyai Wangu, the guy who went and married me.
Yeah.
He loved your dad, rest his soul.
Oh.
He comes running and he's like, I read newspaper. He's talking about a well. And I'm like, oh my God, what is he doing now? So now this whole story gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
Oh, ZANU-PF is killing people from cholera. So people are now twisting his words.
Yeah.
He gets fired.
So what was he saying?
So he was talking about the lack of water in Chivende. They used to teach in a rural area. So the people were sharing a well with cows.
Oh.
And there was potential of cross-contamination.
Yeah.
So it was actually a public health awareness, but it really was none of his business. Because when he came back, I was like,
I feel like
you don't even live near the bowl. You've never taken. His school had water tonight, running water. I don't know why it mattered that the cows and some people from the other part of the village.
Mama, you're not woke.
I'm woke to a certain extent. I need to be woken up. I don't need to just wake up for no apparent reason. You know what I'm saying? And not in Zimbabwe. In Zimbabwe, it's good to be asleep, Tanak. It's never a good thing to just go around.
Yeah, they don't really encourage activism in Zimbabwe.
No, they don't. So anyway, he got
dictatorial.
into real, proper, serious trouble. So anyway, In Zimbabwe, it's, they talk about. Well, I don't want to get into too much because I always want to visit my country. But
they'll put a poster up of you at the airport saying, "Do not let this man in."
I don't want to say anything negative about my country because I love the sunshine, I love the people. But yeah, so we got into trouble, and so your aunt, his aunt actually, your great aunt. Came to Zim. So when she came to Zim, this is a thing now. Apart from I had so much respect for what your dad did, but I did not like the effects on us as a couple, on us as a family. We never had money because he was always being kicked out of jobs because he's upset somebody or whatever. So as much as I believed in him as a person, I didn't like the financial implications because we were always poor. So that's where him and I used to sort of like butt heads, because I used to say to him, we've got a daughter now, your daughter needs to go to school. So if you're activising and being an activist in a country where they are not accepting of your activism, you are putting us at risk. And your daughter, for example, I don't want your daughter to ever grow up without a dad and not knowing. So I think you need to tone it down a bit. So when you used to get very depressed over things like that. Yeah. So I think when your great aunt came to visit, we were actually not talking because we had a major bust up and I was ready to go back home because I was tired. When you get to a point where you see everyone around you, they're moving into their little houses, they're buying their skoro cars, they're moving on with life. You are stagnant because your husband just doesn't know how to behave. So I'm just like, So So I just decided, oh no, he said to me, I actually wasn't going to leave. So he said to me, I'm tired of you not supporting my dreams. So you need to go. You need to go where life will treat you, will treat you better. You need to find yourself somebody who can give you all these luxuries you like. I didn't say I wanted any luxuries. I just wanted a bloody job.
I want to be alive. How about that?
Yeah, just have 4 slices of bread with butter. Nemkaka, makusenegega neti. And not have to ask my mother-in-law for knickers and roll-on and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There's simple things in life. I said to him, I've seen you through all your nonsense, but you need to start acting like the dad here.
Yeah.
Anyway, he didn't like that. So anyway, when your great aunt came, we're literally at the brink of finishing it and calling it a day.
Yeah.
And I was at one of Aunty Monica. I was at Aunty Monica's house just with my bags, just waiting for daylight so that I could just go to my dad's house.
Yeah.
So she came, right? And she came looking for me, actually. She came to Aunty Monica's house.
Yeah.
And I was so embarrassed. All my bags were around me, just ready to go. And she goes, I just came to say hi before you leave. And we clicked with this old woman and we spent the whole night chatting. And she said to me, you know what? You don't have to leave.
Oh.
I can go back. I know how much you love your husband. And I was saying to her, he just doesn't understand how much I care for this man, but this man is always disappointing me all the time. And she was like, oh, you don't have to be like that. You can come and start a new life. You can now have your own, you can work and do whatever you need to do. Have a breath of fresh air. Come for holidays in the UK. See? Mapostori.
Uh-huh.
I said, Tete, UK, imagine my righteous Tina. She goes, no, I'll fund your trip. You can come. Because I've heard about how much of a great woman you are and how nice you've been to my nephew.
Aww.
So, it will be just me saying thank you to you. So we start getting ready. I didn't you should have seen me rejoice. Sending a passport. A passport. And again, it's the who you know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Saga passport who did I know passport office? But anyway, nothing was going to come in my way in this journey.
Yeah.
And because I was holding on to the faith, it's going to happen. So I, got myself ready for the UK. And we got a passport. I'm not going to say how, but we did. we
Wow, let's try and finish this podcast without going to prison.
We got passports.
Yeah,
we got no, they were legit passports. No, they were not fake or anything. Disclaimer: they were genuine passports.
Yeah,
it's how I getting to the passport office. I had to lie that I was, the registrar general. Sorry, registrar general. I lied that I was related to you, and we eventually got everything done. We got the passports. So, when we come, how you're told, Kanaoshiaku UK, you never to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Fam. The only people we knew was God and ourselves.
Yeah.
No one knew that this UK trip was happening.
And I swear you told me you didn't even tell my dad the nitty-gritty.
Your dad did not know.
He only found out the week.
Because knowing your dad, I didn't even trust your dad. I didn't trust anyone. I was looking at you funny as well when you were only the 4. And I was looking at you. I'm thinking, if I say anything to this child, she'll tell somebody. Yeah. I didn't even tell my dad.
Yeah.
My dad came with me to pick up our passports. He didn't understand what was going on because I just said, Dad, keep this passport safe. He did. He didn't know why, everything was so harsh. The only person actually I told was my brother.
Yeah.
Uncle Kudzi. I told him.
Yeah.
I remember my brother, weeping like a baby and hugging and going, you've always wanted the soft life. Now, I was just thinking I was going to come to the UK, live by some 20-bedroomed mansion with 27s. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's another story. I wonder, how we've had I would say there's been a mass exodus in Zimbabwe of late, isn't it, via the COS. Do you think that the people who've come here had those visions that they were coming to
Yeah, most certainly. Everyone who lives Zimbabwe for here feels that they're coming to greener pastures. I think because what we have in terms of time in Zim, we don't have here. In Zim, we are financially poor but time rich. You've got time to do whatever you want. So imagine if you lived in Zim and you had money, your quality of life would be amazing.
Yeah.
So we are getting ready for this journey. Your dad doesn't even know. I told your dad that we're coming to the UK 2 days before. And I was just thinking, I hope the activism in him doesn't activate and say, I'm not leaving my country. We are not yet Uhuru and stuff like that.
But you had to leave because things were getting a bit sticky.
They were getting a bit sticky, but your dad is stubborn. So I was just thinking, because now this article had articulated everywhere. So now everyone knew him. And so I said to him, so I thought, now this is the opportunity to break the news. I said, you need to leave because you see what is happening. And here's the tickets we bought earlier. So that's how I told him. So we left the UK, Zimbabwe.
So when did you tell everybody, okay, we're going? Did you tell them on the day, like, we're going to the airport?
No, we didn't. We didn't even tell anybody.
Like, where did we didn't even tell, like, Gogo and everybody that?
No.
They just saw us in the UK?
No, I said kunambia vakutusha kudambwedza unotengesa madhoiri.
Yeah.
South.
Yeah.
So they took us to the road force thinking tukenda unotengesa madhoiri. And I said, I need to come na Tanaka so that,
So when did they figure out that we were in the UK?
We phoned when we got to
Once we got to... Wow. Wow.
But listen to this. So
if someone did that to me, I think, so you think to know.
Oh, no.
That's what I would think of, like...
You know what I'm saying? What's your problem? We are here.
So we're still, like, going to South Africa.
We are still going to South Africa. So anyway, because the thing is what we did also, because we didn't want it to look too suspicious. So when we left Zimbabwe, we left by road. So we used buses from Zim to South Africa. Okay. So no, because your aunt had given me money so that we could fly. But I thought if we flew, now people are thinking, hakuna mnanting sama doira to fly. So I thought, you know what, let's make it look a bit more legit. So your dad wasn't as determined as I was to get to the UK. Because some of the things he was doing were just weird and wonderful. And, so when we got to South Africa, right, the first thing he did, which made me think, he's my op. He doesn't want me to realize this UK
Not
dream.
your op.
He was my op. We get to, right. So we got to Zim, not Zim, to South Africa in the morning, right? Bear in mind, we started traveling 2 days before this plane. Even our pilot was going to be piloting the plane, was not even aware of the plane that he was going to be piloting. Yeah. But we were already in South Africa 2 days before our actual journey to the UK. Yeah. Your dad left all the logistics to me.
How could he be part of the logistics when you didn't tell him?
So we get to South Africa, right? So our plane was, we were supposed to go to be traveling on the 21st. So I miscalculated. So we left on the 19th, right? On a nighttime bus. So we got to South Africa on the 20th, but we're supposed to be traveling on the 21st, right? So, the calculations were wrong, but we're here now, we have to make it work. Yeah. So we get to the airport. Oh, no, we go to OR Tambo midnight of the 20th, but our plane was for the 21st at night. So we literally got at OR Tambo, it's like 1 a.m., when our flight was like 9 a.m. the other time. Yeah. So we had like over 18, 20 hours to kill. So your dad is like, I'm bored. You're not even...
Like kids.
You're not even acting up because at this point, you're just like, okay, I don't know what mom is doing, but I'll trust mom with my life. Your dad is like, I'm bored. Well, why are we even here? I'm thinking of... So he decides, listen. Your dad decides that he's going to go window shopping and sightseeing in South Africa when we've got a plane to catch at 9 p.m. And this is like at 12 in the afternoon. I said, you're not going anywhere. If you leave this place, this is us done. And I'm never going to speak to you again. So he's grumbling, he sat there. And then He goes, do you even know where the plane is? Because at this point, I didn't know that, you can just walk up to any desk, not any, there's, the airline, you can just walk up there with your passports and they print your ticket. So at this point, I'm getting, this stomach ache that we don't have tickets. We've just been told our tickets were bought and this is where we are catching. We've got nothing to prove, we've got nothing to show. And your dad now is saying, hey, I want a ticket. We get this massive argument about these non-existent tickets. So, and I'm in my head, I know Jandrukit, and now I've got these emails from your great aunt. They're saying the tickets were bought. I've got the proof from the travel agent that these tickets were bought, and I was told, and I don't know anything else. I'm holding on to my 4 pieces of paper and his passport, because at this point I thought if I gave him his passport, he's going to run away. So I've got his passport, I'm holding him hostage. We've had this massive pasta. I go and buy food for everyone. He's not eating because he's upset with me. So he goes, memory, tikasvika pa air desk apo pakanzi hatina ticket unondiona. I'm just thinking, what have I gotten myself into? So it's getting to check-in time, because I knew check-in for any international flights is 2 hours. Now my faith is gone, because I'd been trying to ring Tete since morning and she hadn't been picking up because she was in series of meetings. And at this point, I had forgotten that, if you're ringing UK, you have to put +44. I was just ringing the direct number, like...
So you're ringing someone else.
Someone else, and no one is speaking, and I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, and I just walked onto the Swiss Air desk. Your dad is just standing there waiting for me to be proven wrong, right? So I walk there, I go, hey, hello, how are you? Me and my family are traveling to the UK. I was wondering if you've got our tickets. And this lady goes, yes, sure, can I see your passports? I'm like, this is going so well. So I show them my passports. And they look at my passport, they say, they print out the tickets. Now I'm looking at your dad and going, and all my confidence is now restored. Oh, you should have seen. Oh, God bless. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, they said, and I'm now, my bags, the bags have checked in. Your dad is actually seeing it's now happening. I'm looking at him. Then he goes, kutoenda kao. That's what I'm going to and this guy goes, are you guys okay? Oh, yeah, we're good. We get into the plane. We are now in Zurich, right? So your dad.
I've vomited everywhere.
No, that's not
I haven't vomited yet.
You as a family, you were trying me. So we get to Zurich. This is Switzerland right now. We're in Switzerland. I'm thinking. Now, the air changes. The smell changes. The ambience changes. I'm seeing these people who are just smiling at me, and I'm just thinking, why are they smiling? Because that's what Varungu do. They just smile at you, and I'm just like, why are they smiling? Because it's not culturally, we don't do that. You just don't smile at strangers. But that's what they do.
But Zimbabwe people are very friendly, though.
Yeah, but we greet, we just don't
you
smile.
greet.
Deep sister, mother, my guru, things like that. We just don't smile at people, says Mumu. But that's what they do, isn't it? It's like, everyone is smiling, and I'm just thinking, do I smile back? Do I wave? What do I do? It's new, but I'm excited. Your dad, I don't know what has happened to his ears near the atmospheric pressure, right? He's going, what are you doing? Why are you bringing so much attention to yourself? This, because bear in mind, your aunt, Bukira on this plane where not so many Zimbabweans were traveling on. So we are the only black family, yourself, and all these white people around us. So I'm saying, why? You're already black, everyone can see. Why are you now walking around with Chishama or Chitonges Benz? Wagara was not in England. I'm just, I'll scoot down to Ndone open your nan. Chine way. Arkungo Shamatana. And when he does that, he makes this weird sound with his tongue. He goes, I said, what are you doing? He goes, my ears are. I said, so do you have to make these weird and wonderful sounds? We are almost getting to immigration. And at this point, we've been told that immigration is very tough on black people. And there he is, yawning and yawning. Going and I said, you know what? If we get to the, to the immigration desk, I've never seen you. I don't know you. Our surnames are different. You could easily be a stranger. So if they decide to deport you, you're going back by yourself. I'm proceeding with this journey. And he's going to live with who? Yeah, madzangu dzakakutengera ticket ndikati andina kana basa nazvo. Hama dzako dzichava hama dzangu. Simboshita zvauri kuti atidzorerwe. So he's like, we get to immigration. Then they go, what's your name? He goes, huh? They go, what is your name? He goes, hitting into his ear. Huh? What is your name? Oh, my name. And he goes, say, what are you coming? Huh? So, like enough, the Swiss people, God bless them, they are really nice. So they were like, atmospheric pressure, your ear, whatever. I'm just thinking, here we go. So they say, so we're on transit, so we pass. I'm thinking, okay, we pass through, we're going to the UK, London City, here we come. So I'm now giving him champ talk, prep talk. Nice. It was anditi ina handisikuda kunzi ndozana nemunhu asina kukwana saka ndasvika ikoko kati zvekushama-shama ndikuchinja.
You were acting brand new,
no ina asingade zvokudzokera kumba tonight. Ndatomboona nyika inga ichinwira. Imagine kuchipa kwangu kwakaita macrisps epa-airport. Because we had money, we had beaucoup money. I think on ourselves we had quite a bit of money. I think we had over 3,000 pounds. So I'm thinking, let me take £100. Thinking of the inflation back home, let me take £100 and buy you McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I give them £100 note.
Yeah.
They give me back something like £99. I'm like, eh. So I buy you this McDonald's in Zurich.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah. So I buy you this McDonald's. Biggest mistake. You eat the McDonald's, right, and the milkshake and whatever. We get onto the plane. Right. So we are now at our final destination. This is where all the interrogation. Everyone has been telling me that's where all the interrogation happens. Oh, your father now is doing a 360 on me. He's now opening his mouth as wide as it can go. Hoi! I was like, I'm smiling at him. I'm going, yeah, don't plan your And he's going, and he's talking on top of his voice as well. We should stand as a family.
Oh my God.
So, okay, we're in this queue. And he's still going there, opening his mouth as loud as wide as he can. This time a bit even louder. I think he has unlocked his joy at this point from, and he's going like this and going, and I'm like, do you really understand what is at stake here? I said, these people, that whole line of people, they're standing between me and my dream. And now you're my biggest hope, because if they see you behaving like the way we are definitely going back home. You need to stop.
Because on the what is it called, the border control show, right? If anybody's acting a bit shifty,
and I'd watched enough of those shows, and I was just thinking the way he's moving, they're going to think he has swallowed drugs somewhere, and he's even pointing at him. So I don't know why he was raising his finger way up high and then bringing it to his. I'm just thinking this man has always. And I said to him, since I met you at 16, you stopped me from finishing my GCSEs because I got pregnant with this one. Now I've got an opportunity to make my life right. You're now stopping me. You and your atmospheric pressure are stopping me. I am tired. I'm done. At this point, I'm thinking there's no way we're entering the UK with him behaving like this. So what do? Projectile vomit. Just a minute before we get to the immigration officers, you vom all over the place. I'm like, great.
So
it was indicative. And I was like, so these people do not like to see me. Why is she vomiting 2 minutes before I see the immigration officer to make my dream come true? So this woman comes out of the podium. Goes, are you okay? You vomit on her shoes. And I'm like, there we go. And I'm going, I'm so sorry. Do you have tissue? Do you have this? And when you don't know what to do, I'm trying to make the situation right. Your dad is still going. How can I and I'm looking for tissue. How can they want kwanira? They want what? So this woman goes, you know what? Let me take you around. So we go in right to this place. So I'm cleaning myself because you had vomited on me, vomited on this lady. So there's medic people come. Are you okay? They're checking your temperature and everything. What are you here for? We're coming to see family and whatever. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Did you eat anything that didn't agree with you? You're just shaking your head because at this point you've got there are all these white people around you and you're just thinking what is going on, and they're checking your temperature, seeing if you're okay.
I had never seen a white person before.
There you go. So you're just thinking, I'm just going sekerera in Shona.
Yeah.
You know when you're smiling and your stomach is really upset, and just oh bless you, and you're going thank you to them. So anyway, so this person goes, oh, okay. So somebody brings our passports. Oh, I'm still trying to clean you up. So our passports come through, and they're like, oh, you can go. You have a pleasant trip. So I'm thinking, right, where does the grilling start?
Yeah.
Because at this point
what are you doing here?
Yeah.
They do that in America. They grill you.
So I'm thinking, where does the grilling start? Because now we've got our passports in our hands. So I'm walking, right? I'm walking. So I asked this man, so I said, so where do we go to Immigration and Border Control? Your dad is still going besides me. So he goes, oh, no, you can go and meet with your loved ones. You're here, have a farm. The Lord of Vomit, Mwarwema Roots. We are now in the UK. Hey. I didn't know what to do with myself. So there's your because we came just before, it was a bit springy around May. She's waiting for us there. I came in because I had bought an outfit, right, from Truworths for this journey. Honey. So we're all dressed in our Sunday best. Yeah, we're in our Sunday best. We'd had our hair done, ready for the journey, we're coming to London. But we are the only ones who know it. So we get there, she greets us.
Yeah.
We're in the UK.
And had you told her not to tell anybody?
Well, she wasn't. She was actually, she didn't tell anyone, and because she also wanted it to work for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're now in the UK, the land of plenty.
And how was that?
The first thing I saw was that there's no parking. Because, I was like, so why are there so many cars parked on the roads? No, they're parked. Is there a funeral? Because in Zimbabwe, people who are from Zimbabwe agree. We should see cars like the way they are parked here. You know that Panon or Kuchema. So you park by the roadside. So that's the only way you can know Panenamu. That's because there are that many cars. But here is a day-to-day occurrence.
And you know what's so different about relocating now is that we've got so much social media, we've got the internet. Back then you had no clue what you're walking into.
No, I had no clue what I was walking into. And so there was things that would fascinate me, seeing furniture just is thrown outside because bear in mind, in my head I was saying we'll have to go back after 6 months. So I'm seeing all these televisions, I'm thinking I'm going to take all these televisions from the road, I'm going to take all these sofas, because people just leave things outside, don't they? And back home, that's not a thing we do,
Yeah.
So I'm seeing all this. I'm seeing buses that travel around empty or with just one passenger. I'm thinking, wow.
That would never happen in Zim.
Oh, no, people will be sitting on top of each other.
Were you underwhelmed or overwhelmed? How did you feel? Did you think okay, so where's the rest of it? Or were you like, oh, wow?
It was, oh, wow. And
really?
to me, the oh, wow was because I'd never lived by myself. I'd never had to make decisions around my own money or make decisions about what I eat even. Because bear in mind, we're living with your mom, your grandma and your granddad. So I'd never actually had my own household to manage.
Yeah.
So coming over and actually getting my own first salary, can you imagine? Because when I eventually got a job, I'm not going to talk about that part of the working, because we worked. Everyone knows we worked. So getting my first salary was just thinking I've had my own first salary.
Yeah.
And life actually started lifing because when we got there, your aunt cushioned us because she did all our finances, helped us with the financial stuff. And for 3 months, we didn't have to pay our own rent and stuff like that. And then when we had to start paying our own rent, getting our own jobs, it was interesting. But money then was money. Money, ngweyo yaitenga, mari yaitenga back home and here. It wasn't, cost of living wasn't as bad as it was. And things were not too tough for immigrants as they are now.
Yeah.
So as much as, compared to where I'd come from, this was always going to be better.
Yeah.
Because I now had my own keys to my own house. I was actually learning to drive. I was going to own my own car.
Yeah.
Things like that. Things that were only a dream for me a year ago. We're actually starting to. When I came over, I was 24.
I always think that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, if I imagine myself as a 24-year-old.
Oh, no, you were useless 24-year-old.
I was so useless. I only
Really
got,
useless.
my act together at 25.
Yeah, I built houses, not a house, when I was 25.
That's crazy to me. I couldn't imagine. I do say that, though, but I did relocate, but it wasn't the same. Like, life in Ukraine was easy. Like, it wasn't. I think because I'm coming from the UK, I was already accustomed to that.
Yeah.
So going to Ukraine, it wasn't as if I'm having to change anything about my life. But I always imagined relocating and being an adult at 25.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
At 24, that's when we relocated. So life started happening for me at 24.
Yeah.
So, and I had a whole clan looking out, because when we got here, we called everybody. They said, we're in the UK, somewhere like, oh, you're joking.
What did they say?
So some were thinking I'm lying. And I bought my first ever mobile phone, which was a Nokia. A green one, a 3310 Nokia.
Oh, I remember that phone. That phone was hard. You could knock somebody out with that phone.
Oh,
And the charger as well.
Yeah,
oh
everything about it was very
hard.
Yeah, and it was a good life because I got to make decisions about my own life. I got to make decisions about how I did things with my own little household. So, yeah.
Wow. Beautiful story, girl.
Yeah. And so we're here now, and I'm now starting to raise a child on my own.
Yeah.
So with your dad, obviously we were together for a while. Then we decided that we really were different people. But it was different. It was always going to be different. So I think our journey is what is important. Our journey, you and I, to where you are now. The fun of raising you, the grief of raising you, the pain of raising a child as an immigrant in a foreigner's country, knowing the things I knew. Now here, you can't even do that, Things that I knew, the way I was raised. So it's trying to, accommodate and encompass a totally different culture, but also still trying to stay true to your own culture. Because I think, although I'm now a British citizen and I always identify, with Zimbabwe and my Zimbabwean roots. So trying to merge the two, taking the best of both worlds is, I think, what has brought us here. Because the amount of, oh, mom, you can't say that. Oh, mom, you can't do that. Oh, mom, that is embarrassing, kind of. But here we are. So it's been an interesting journey, I guess.
Yeah.
In the way that also, external influences have always been there. Because when people have seen us, my mom, your grandma, my mother-in-law, your people back home, they've always had to chime in at some point. When I call back home, I say, hey, mom, bona zviri kuita mwana. Body things like that. And I'm having to defend that behavior or defend that saying, actually, it's not what you think.
Yeah.
So it's those stories that I found that's how the amount of growth for me happened. Accommodating you, accepting you, and having to challenge some of the things that you were doing as well.
Yeah.
That's, I think, where our bond came from. Because I think you were very much interested in my thought process And as much as I would like to think I was a very strict mom, I was also one of your biggest cheerleaders, I would like to think.
You're very different because as much as I'll say that you're strict, you're also not. And I've never met anybody like that. Like, you're strict, but you're not strict all at the same time. I don't know how you manage that.
Because I think there has to be a fine line, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I've always seen myself, knowing what I know now, because I think when you go to 17, my prayers, I stayed prayed up because there was no way you're going to be a mom at 17 like I was.
Yeah.
So I think it was trying to find that middle ground where I would relate to you as a teenager, but also still be able to parent you.
Yeah.
Because I come from a school where mwana is shamari,
Yeah.
you know, awusajaidze mwana,
Yeah.
kind of. So trying to find that healthy middle has always been a struggle. Because I know sometimes we've had times where it tipped over the other way or the other way.
Yeah.
But we always found our way to that healthy middle, I guess.
Yeah. And I've always thought, like, we've kind of, like, grown up together.
We have.
Do you agree?
Yeah, we have. And most of the things, I think we've also learned from each other, because all this street lingo, I've learned from you.
Yeah, you're down.
I'm down, the purse, all the things that you say.
Yeah.
I think that makes me relatable, if you like, because I've spent so much time trying to get to know you and how to communicate with you. So I think the first thing was to get into your world and understand your world better.
I feel like some parents, they'll probably struggle to parent their children because they don't even speak the same language.
I think
they don't even know what's going on. They're worried about one thing when the real villain is something completely. They don't even know what's going on TikTok. And you're worried about MSN. This is 2023, babe. It's like, yeah. I really commend that about you. I want to take that aspect of myself, like, as a parent. I want to be, like, with my children, but I want them to also respect me. Because my kids do not respect me at all. Like, whatsoever.
They don't rate you.
No, they don't rate me. Especially Jojo. Jojo does not rate me at all. I have to say, should I tell Nana? Because me and Jojo are both scared of Nana.
Yeah, you would no, but you'll grasp it because children are different. Because how I parent you is not how I parent Rio. Totally different.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you will respond with the right response to the requirements of parenting different children. Because if you see the two girls, Jojo and Jojo and Shiloh are different. They're very different, and you can't. The way you're going to raise Jojo is not the way you're going to raise Shiloh. Because there's no.
This is what I was saying to my friends the other day. She was saying that, she feels like she's a soft parent. Then I said, I've realized, because we had a conversation before, that as a parent, it's like a toolbox, and you've got different tools for different situations and different scenarios.
Yeah.
So as opposed to thinking that you need to figure out one parenting style and sticking to that,
and also
it's about
it transitions through the years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because now parenting you as a grown woman is different, because I have to use blackmail and do things like, I laid all my life for this Ramana and things like that. Because now I can't
even do that.
Because now I can't bring out the wooden spoon. I can't threaten you with being grounded. You know, some tools become obsolete as the kids grow, isn't it? When they're younger, you can say you're not having ice cream, you're not watching cartoons or whatever. You can ground them, you can sit them. And also, gentle parenting is for gentle children. there are some thugs there. Some gangsters of children. There are some gangsters of children that you have to actually be a gangster yourself to parent them. There's no way you're going to be soft with Jojo.
I never thought I would agree with you.
Jojo needs a gangster parent. Because she's a gangster. She
won't listen.
An absolute thug.
You should hear Mom and Jojo talking to one another. You think they'll never talk after that day, you know?
Yeah, but...
And then within seconds, she'll be like, hi, Nana. Do you like my breast? I like my breast. Me on the other like, no, Mommy, go away,
Because you try to do, what is it called, dear, the thing you do?
What?
Soft talk. What is it?
Gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting. Jojo is not for gentle parenting.
She doesn't respond to
She
it.
needs a hammer and, because she's an iron lady, that one. Like true thug, that one. She's of the streets. You have to know how to deal with that one. She's not like your Shilohs and your soft other children. Nah, she's not like that. That's why here and I understand each other, because
Yeah, she reminds me so much of
yeah,
you.
because I have to bring out the big guns when you're dealing with her.
She's just like you, even facial expressions, like things that she likes.
She doesn't
things
suffer
like.
fools gladly.
Anyways, Mom, that was an amazing fast episode. What should we talk about in our next episode? Shall we do it chronologically?
I think chronologically is good, because the more I can embarrass you as well.
Okay, so
'Cause you've got
what
loads of
will be?
embarrassing
This will be like the first years in the UK and
Yeah.
what that was like, and like settling in Leicester. I want some vintage tea as well about the stuff that you used to get up to when you were in your 20s.
Yeah. Self-reporting and
Yeah.
self-humiliation.
And if you see any kind of like, can you relate? Can you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Going down nostalgia lane.
Yeah. So thank you guys for joining into our first ever episode of Mom, Can You Not? It was amazing to have you guys on this journey, and this whole podcast started because of you guys. So I hope you join us on next episode and join us on this journey as we talk about our lives and have you guys throughout the process. So thank you, Mom.
You're most welcome.
And thank you to our amazing podcast studio, Leicester Podcast Studio.
That's the place to be.
Yeah.
We'll show you all of it on TikTok, because I know some of you want to know things. You're always asking, Mama, where is this? Mama, where is this?
Yeah.
It's Leicester. If you're in Leicester, I'll drop down the deeds.
Thank you.